Shopping Tins Podcast. We hold it down. They know what's now.
Yo. Shad Gaspard and JTG. It's prime time.
Brooklyn.
Jobber Nation, day 9,682 of quarantine. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc. We do want to thank everyone that's been listening for the past few weeks to us, whatever sounding platform. But we want to start off, and it's on a somber note. It just is, and it sucks, and it's something all of us have been dealing with the last few days, which has been the passing of Shad Gaspard of Crime Time. And it's been something like, I think it's hit wrestling community, but the Black wrestling community is in such pain. It is like, it leaves you speechless because of the type of person that he is. As everyone knows, he was by far probably the biggest interview we had in 2019. And it came so late in the year too. And then we had the pleasure of hanging out with him and kind of chopping it up with him, me and Sir Wilkins at WrestleCade. So I want to start off with you guys, if you guys have any like stories or any like memories, whether it's in ring or once again personally, because we started to build a relationship with him once he did the podcast for us, and for us, people don't have to do certain things, they have to take the time out, they don't have to do anything, but he took the time out and spent almost 2 hours talking to us, and was like candid and said anything, did anything. So we're forever thankful of that. So I'm gonna jump off and let you guys start. If you guys have any stories or anything you guys want to say about him.
Like meeting him in person, like that man legit, like tall, big. Like I'm like, wow, he was really like, nigga, I'm grown, so I'm about to be 30 again, so doesn't matter. So
to be 30 plus 1.
No, this year don't count.
You want to do a Zoom birthday party?
This year don't count. This year doesn't count. I'm turning 30. Next year I'm turning 31. So whenever my kids ask, 2020, we went from 19 to 21. So
this year don't count. This year does not count.
It doesn't count. So like legitimately he's tall, and like when you realize that he helped me see that there is so much to do as far as entertainment wise, just outside that we see on television. The fact that Kratos is modeled after him, and to this day that you can still enjoy him in a video game form, and the fact that he's getting a royalty check to this day from being the model for Kratos. The fact that he was a stunt double in Black Panther, like he opened my eyes up to the fact that you can do anything in this world as long as you make yourself useful. Like there is a world outside of wrestling. And he helped me sum it up like this way, like wrestling was just a job. Yes, he could have been like, yes, he was good at it. Like he had all the formulas to be very successful in wrestling, but there's a bigger picture. Like there is a world outside of what we call wrestling. And he helped me see that. And the fact that how to ever have something positive to say, the fact that he's always willing to put on the next black man. Shout out to Glenn Ford, him in his movie. Shout out to like other people touching his life. When watching clips from Wale Mania, like just simply like he picked up coffee on his shoulders.
So
like,
I have that.
Like I'm surprised I have that too.
Right,
and it's so crazy. It's just so crazy. It's little stuff he's just been doing for the whole Black community as a whole. Like I just felt that he's one of those underrated dudes that unless you if you know, like you have to be on the inside to kind of know the stuff that he does for people. The fact that he still kept in touch with JTG, the fact that he still do stuff with him, he's able to like do many stuff to allow JTG just be prosperous. And like he didn't like detach him after the week. He kept him around and said, "Yo, you're my brother. I'm gonna help you get to the other side. Let's do this together as one." So, and he died a hero, y'all. Like he said that, "Yo, take my son," because I'll be good. He took his son and he had to wash it away. Like low key, I was hoping to have like a miracle moment where his body wouldn't wash up. He just come up like some real like Haitian warrior and just walking. And you see like the ancestors behind him because they brought him forth and made sure that he would been good. But it just shows you that life is not promised to nobody. And he did what he had to do. Like that was his time to go. And the time he was on this earth, he made a huge impact. Now, his son can always look back and say, yo, my dad was the hero. His last dying thing he did was make sure that his son was good. And that's one thing that Chad basically taught me was like, always make sure the next generation is good. Always.
Very well said. So, Wilkins, you have the floor.
It kind of hit me hard. I'll be honest with you guys. When I heard about it,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really want to talk to anybody about the particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of ignored a lot of people. People hit me up about it. So, but we're more on a positive note right now. And he did a lot of good things, like you mentioned, like my brother mentioned, in the community. And one of the biggest things is that he put people on and took care of people. I remember he came to our viewing party.
Oh yeah.
And I introduced him to Isaiah Wolf. And Isaiah was like, yeah, whatever. And they kept in contact.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like he kept sending him stuff like, yo, hey, this is stuff you need to do. You want to make it? I'm gonna tell you a couple things you need to do to make it. This is what you need. And he's giving him tips. Like Isaiah was sending him his videos, and Shad would look over it. You don't gotta do that. You don't have to do that. You're not entitled to that. And the way we met him was me sending out a fake beef at him.
A beef.
For a workout, and he responded. Once again, you don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him just being a generally a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
And he better win the Warrior Award this year. Like Mark Henry said that he should be nominated for the Warrior Award. Like, bro, a couple of years ago, he stopped the armed robbery.
Yeah.
Whole shit by himself. Whole shit.
Yeah. He didn't know that it was a real gun though, but still, he just did it. Yeah,
he stopped the armed robbery, and like you said, the way he went out was like to save his son. Like he loved his kid. Like you don't see that. You don't see that. You don't see that in the media about black people, like black dads loving their child, and he loved his son.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he loved his wife. Like he was a family man. We were trying to book him for the July 4th show, right?
Yeah.
So I text him, and he's like, "Yo, listen, let me see." Then I hit him up again. I was like, "Yo, what's going on? Like, yo, what's going on this July 4th?" He's like, "Yo."
He needed an answer, kind of, because he wanted to
we wanted to book, and then he was like, "Yo, listen, July 4th is usually when the family goes away." That says something. It wasn't. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm booked with something else." Oh, hey, I'm taking care of something else, some other obligation I have. No, it's my obligation is my family.
My family.
Mm-hmm.
And in the text, the group text, he's like, "Yo, listen, take JTG and have him. He can represent me." But that also shows like he's like, "Yo, if I'm not there, put my mans on."
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he said is, and I think we'll talk about in the Owen interview, when we talk about the Dark Side of the Ring, was remember when we asked him, "Hey, was there a point when you were thinking about going back to WWE?" He told us straight up. He was like, "Listen, I was looking at my son. I get to see him grow, become a man. I'm with my wife now more." I was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, like definitely. I'm good.
But we talk about the, like, people never really understand like the business. I think that's our job is to like get people to understand this business the wrestling business.
Mm.
Like, you're on the road 300 days out the year. 300 days out the year.
Yeah.
And you're away from your family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Shad, and to be honest, they were going to throw money at him. And when Vince personally asks you, hey,
are you good?
You want to come back?
Yeah.
You want to come back to the business? He's like, nah, I'm good financially, and I have my family. I think us as people, especially when you're trying to make a come up, we forget like family, friends, not like the fake friends, but like genuine friends and family who've been there. And what I learned from that is the importance of family and the importance of good people, and like, because he's still, like you mentioned, he's still friends with JTG. And that cryptic text that he sent JTG, he's like, "Yo, if I die tomorrow, I will always love you."
Yeah.
But we honor him, and we
celebrate him.
we celebrate him.
Thankful of him. So,
I'm gonna put the link of his link to his T-shirt. All the proceeds of every T-shirt that's being sold, it will definitely go towards his family. The link shall be in the bio below.
Yeah. So Collar and Elbow has a T-shirt on sale in honor of him. So once again, as Mr. Black mentioned, all proceeds will be going to his family. They're also going to start a GoFund account. But before we do move on to talking about the Darks, our wellness check, because we always do a wellness check. Once again, we kind of knew him in a short amount of period, but it felt like we knew him forever. It felt like he was just like one of us, like, especially when we did the interview. So we went from doing the interview to then literally, I think it was not even like 3 weeks, me and Sir Wilkins had went to WrestleCade down in Winston-Salem. And Crime Time was going to be there. It had a table and everything. So the first thing we did when we got into the convention center was we chopped it up with Shad and JTG. And like, we were just laughing and talking. And, you know, they had their shirts on sale. And they were just so cool and down to earth. Like, it just felt like we had been friends for years. And then, you know, we would work our way around the room, go see other people. We chopped it up with Faye, because Faye had a little section. So we chopped up with her a little bit. And then, of course, I wanted to meet Stevie Ray, because I was like, listen, I probably will never meet Booker T, but Stevie Ray is definitely a great option. So I went over, and it was so funny because Sir Wilkins and Danny, they low-key didn't want to go over there. They was like, oh, yeah, it's cool. But I was like, nah, like, I got to go speak to Stevie Ray. I literally spoke to Stevie Ray for an hour. Literally. Like, stood there, chopped it over him. Like, we talked, like, it was like talking to my uncle. Like, it was so wild and so organic and so, like, just laid back. And it was so cool. Because you don't get to really experience that as a wrestling fan. Like, when you do meet and greets, and everybody that does that, you pay to see the person, take the picture, and then you move on. Like, I personal ass conversation with Stevie Ray. And then literally, like, they were literally closing up the convention area. And so we were like, oh, it's time to go. Like, he was hungry. I was like, all right, we gotta go. But I like talking to him. So, but literally, and it was funny because Rich Swann was like right across from us. And
that's the guy right there. Shout out to Rich Swann.
Kiera Hogan was like in that area. So like, if you haven't seen like on either our Instagram or our Facebook group, I posted the picture. There's a picture of us.
It's a theme song. Like, y'all saw in the beginning, the last picture that before the transition to like the episode, that's the picture she's talking about.
So the picture that's just so organic. Like, I cannot even describe how organic that picture was. That moment. I said for moments, and literally, Dad had he was like 3 rows from Stevie Ray. Like, he was on the other side of the room. And he low-key started beefing with him, like, on some joke shit. He literally ran from one side of the room to the other side just to mess with him. And literally, we were like, and then literally everybody else started coming out of nowhere. And that's how that picture was formed. Literally, it was the most organic thing. but it was a moment in time we wanted to capture because we, as the Black little girl wrestling fan of me, I never had that experience of having other people of color be able to enjoy what I enjoyed. So to see those that I grew up watching or that I've seen within the last 2, 3, 4 years grow, and us have that moment and us have that unity, that meant the world to me. And that picture personifies unity. And that's the one thing I can say I will always remember about Shad is like he promoted unity, whether it was black, white, indifferent, young, old, it didn't matter. He just wanted everybody to be together and to have a good time and to have those memories. So to have that kind of moment and that memory, I'll forever be thankful. It is by far one of my favorite pictures of all time. But
you print it out and frame it.
Yeah, I know I got to print it and frame it. But it just, once again, it makes you want to continue his legacy. Once again, gone but not forgotten. We will never forget the times, and we're always gonna be thankful of him and the time that we've all spent with him. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Once again, Collar and Elbow has the t-shirt in honor of him. Make sure to purchase it. All proceeds will go to his family. So it's super important to just do
the link shall be in below in the description.
So let's go on to our wellness check for this week. Gentlemen, what have you been watching this week? Nothing. Great.
I've been watching Power Rangers.
I was about to say, if you don't mention you watching Power Rangers because you posted about it. What's it like?
Yeah.
Were you watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or?
No, I'm gonna go through the whole series. So I started with Mighty Morphin again, and then I'm gonna go through that. And you start it's funny because now that we're older and you go back to old shows, you start picking up on different things. Certain things are yo, this shit is wild weird. There's an episode when Zach is teaching these a bunch of little white kids how to fight. It is the most random thing in the world, and then there's a monster that comes and then puts the kids to sleep. So, and this part was just wild. So, Zordon contacts Zach. He's like, "Yo, Zach, you have to get downtown to Angel Grove to go fight this monster." And then Zach is like, "Yo, the kids are all laid out on the floor. I gotta stay here." And because they're all asleep and frozen and shit. And then Zordon's like, "Nah, now you good. Just go downtown. I'll watch over the kids." Nigga, what? So the kids are laid out. But the kids are laid out there on the floor in the middle of the grass.
Safe, at all.
Not safe at all. And what is Zordon gonna do from inside of his cubicle? No, his incubator. It's a fucking incubator.
I mean, it's a proven fact that, these kids probably had wigworms, but they probably protected from the coronavirus, They was laying on there a pretty long time. So
it was bad. And when he came back, they just miraculously popped up. And I was like, what?
Hey, listen, a lot of it makes no sense. A lot of it makes no sense.
Not, but it
makes no sense at all.
I still watch it to this day, but sometimes people looking y'all really insulted my intelligence. This is not meant for me.
I feel like that all the time, especially when I watch old wrestling shit. I'm like, are we doing this for real?
A lot of stuff makes no sense to me. A lot of stuff I probably should be watching this, but okay. Oh, I've been catching up for me. I've been catching up a lot of basketball stuff.
Okay.
I'm going in depth as far as just a lot of players that I may have forgotten about. I went in depth in a lot of I went back to actually look at stories where people don't talk about. One time someone said, what are some of the episodes you want to see on season 3 for Dark Side of the Ring? Someone said when they had a case against WCW for being racist. Oh man, it was legit. When they said that how the percentages of black people who was on the road, how Vince Russo, that nigga's a racist. He said that there'll never be me as an American, aka a white person, saying that how there'll never be in London wrestling, there'll never be a main event. Japanese wrestlers, Mexican wrestlers can't main event, mad stuff. And I'm looking
where did you watch this? Where did you find this?
Listen, type is it's the same I'll say the link.
Hold on. Put drop the link in the bio.
I got you.
I'll put the link in the bio.
Share
I'll
with
put the link in
all.
the
Hold on. Everybody point down. Put the link.
I'll put the link in the bio. And yo, it's wild. Like you realize that, like, like it's deeper than that. You realize that it's not even just a WCW problem. It's literally a wrestling problem. How they broke down the percentage. Huh?
Did he say it like on a Nitro?
No, he said like on an interview or something like that. This is why like they literally had 15 Mexican wrestlers.
Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. Was it a shoot interview or was it like a storyline interview?
It was a shoot interview. And like what the guy said this, like it went from I think 16 or 15 Mexican wrestlers on the roster down to 3 by the time that time. And then Booker T only became champion to say that how that they're not really racist. Yo, it is wild. You realize WCW is low-key racist. But then again, it makes sense because
because they had fucking Kurt Hennig and all the and it was Barry Windham.
They're from the South. They're from the South.
About, white is better type of shit.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
what?
Honestly,
that was weird. Like I look at
right.
That, no one had no issue with that. Like that wasn't
right. It was just weird. It was just very weird. And I realized that like, yo, it's not just a WWE problem. It's just a wrestling problem in general. Like they point out something that the last black world champion was Ron Simmons, and after that was Booker T. And it came to daunting with WWE. I'm looking like the last like black champion was literally Bobby Lashley in his first run, but it was ECW. After that was Kofi Kingston, literally all these years later, and it's a problem in wrestling. Like, yo, I'm not saying that white people not good enough than black people. I'm just saying that literally we are natural athletes. Like we dominate the NFL, we dominate the NBA. Like world champion, like Bill Russell dominate the league because of a bunch of white boys in the league. And I'm looking like, why is wrestling more dominated by us? It makes no sense. So that was very interesting. Like I went down a very long rabbit hole. I'm looking like, dang, wrestling is low key racist. And like it got so bad that they noticed that a lot of the black audience was not come to Nitro because there was no black representation on the screen. I was just like, dang, it's crazy. Like I'm put down the link in the bio. Y'all watch it for yourself, and y'all be like, wow, you realize that it's just a problem. And even with the whole wrestling community too, I noticed that, like, how the fuck you make fun of somebody because they died, son? That's not funny, son. Like, and I feel like it just be people who don't look like us just be making fun of us. Be like, I don't like that. That rubbed me the really wrong way because at the end of the day, though, son, we basically built this country, son. Like we done so much for everybody, but yet we can't get that respect, B. But yet we got learned like just turn the other cheek. Nah, I'm not doing that no more, B. I'm not laying down for nobody, none of that. And whoever's against us, going to be against us. Who's for us, yo, hop along. We can do this together as a unity. We don't want no hate over there. Like, at the end of the day, we human first, but everybody who don't see that same vision, I don't want them around. And, yeah, other than that, that's it. And I just been taking a lot of walks. I've been meditating more, got into yoga. So, yeah.
Oh, you trying to get flexible over there?
Nah, like, I'm just trying to lose more weight. That's it.
So you could look like a pencil? What's going on here?
No.
You are fine the way that you are because your head is big. So if you lose a lot more weight, you're going to look crazy.
Nah, I just want to try yoga because I just feel like I don't like lifting weights. I like walking around, running. I like CrossFit. So I'm like, why don't I incorporate yoga into that too? So far, it's like, it's been okay. So I'm going to see by the end of the year how much is going to really like change within my whole health and stuff like that. Yeah. Good.
This is what I watch. Oh, there's a new show on Netflix called Sweet Magnolias. And Heather Headley is in that fucking show.
Who's Heather Headley? Where's she from?
I wish I wasn't the singer. What the fuck is wrong with you? You never heard What? What is wrong with you guys?
What movie was she in?
She wasn't in a movie. She was an R&B singer. And she turned actress. She was in Broadway. and now she's on this Netflix show. And it's super cute. It's about 3 women in South Carolina, their lives, and they are opening a spa, all women's spa. Like it's about friendship, love, all that jazz. But it's a really good show.
A check show. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, because you don't know Heather Headley, and I'm like, and I bet you if I sing you the song, you're gonna be like, oh, and then you're gonna look silly. So, on the wrestling side of things, I watched it. I don't know why I watched it last night. I watched because I'm preparing for In Your House. I watched In Your House Bad Blood, which had
that's a classic right there.
Michaels and Taker, and I think that was when Kane debuted. Kane came out. But the fact of the matter is that the Nation started off the show against LOD, and I just was like,
what?
I was so tickled at the fact that the Rock tag team with Godfather and D-Lo.
Wait a minute, was this before? What was this after Gang Wars?
It is after Gang Wars.
Because this is towards the tail end of '97. So this is like the pre-road to WrestleMania 14. That Bad Blood.
Okay. So yeah. Okay.
I went to because that Bad Blood happened, and then the Royal Rumble was when the casket match happened, and then that's when everything else followed through.
Okay, got you.
What else have I been watching?
I did watch the first In Your House. I did watch that. That one was it was like you can tell like the difference in what's going on in reality. Like what's going on with like the new generation era and like the attitude era. Because they were giving away a house In Your House.
Word?
Yeah, they're giving a whole ass house away. Like you entered in like a lottery, whatever, and they were giving away a house in Orlando, Florida. It was different. It was on Mother's Day. It broadcasted on Mother's Day, and everybody that cut a promo was saying like raising like, yeah, I'm gonna whoop your butt, blah 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 blah. And by the way, Happy Mother's Day, Miss Ramone. And he like walk out, and like you'll have Bret Hart. He'll cut a promo because he was leading up to his match with Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh,
was that before King? That was before the dentist. Like that was before King was the dentist, right?
Okay. Yeah, it was before then. So he cut his promo, and then he had his match against what's that dude? I forget his name. The Japanese with all the writings on him.
What are you talking about?
He had his match with him, and he was like, yeah, boom, boom, boom. And Miss Hart, Happy Mother's Day. And then he'd walk out. And I was like, all right, this is what we're doing.
You know what? And we'll go on after this, but I just have to say this one thing. So, every time I watch wrestling, whether it's
what's your headphones, Janelle?
You said what?
The headphones.
My headphones?
Yeah.
What headphones?
You don't have headphones on?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
You weirdo.
I'll make sure people hear you. That's why.
Is like if you watch old shit, like where are those fans now? Like I feel like that's the super missing link that I always question. Like, yo, what was the fit? Because they were wild. When I was watching the In Your House, you had niggas that was holding their babies like to get on camera. Like it was wild. Like why would you do that? Like dangling a child, like a less than a 2-year-old, like in the camera, like, hey, like we're here. Like, where are those people? Like, did you grow up and still watch wrestling? Did you grow up and have a family of your own and now y'all go to show? Like, I always wonder, like, where are those fans now? Because they were wild. Like, even at WCW days, like, they were wilding.
They threw they sold trash in the ring in WCW.
Well, because shit was trash. Like, it was trash. So it makes sense. But all right, let's.
You like that?
No, I mean, I like a good heel turn, and it made sense. And, we got the NWO out of it, all that jazz. But I was just like, Terry's still trash. But let's move on to this week, Dark Side of the Ring, this season finale. Season 2 is a wrap. And we have come to the story of the last days of Owen Hart, the youngest of Stu and Helen Hart's children. And this time around, you kind of got the story from Martha, which is his wife, her point of view, and it was a very deep, like honestly, if you didn't cry at that last like 15 minutes of the show, like you ain't got no heart, because that was super hard.
It was good. It was good.
Because you had, her, you had his son, you had his daughter, and they were all just talking about memories and things, and they basically kind of like was just like, if my dad didn't wrestle, like we would still have him type of thing, and that's kind of hard to like really put into like words and perspective. Like that's a rough thing, because once again, he was born to kind of do wrestling because he was in the wrestling family. Like the Hart family is one of the foundations of this business. So and he was just a natural.
Oh, you said one of them. Oh,
Yeah, not the.
I'm about to say.
Like that's just obnoxious. But no, I think the Hart family is definitely one of the foundations of wrestling. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to start off. What were your thoughts about the episode? And do you still agree after watching the episode, Owen Hart not being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame?
I'll go first. Like, honestly, whoever say that he should be a WWE Hall of Fame is selfish. And it's pretty obvious that he is in the Hall of Fame, and he's another Hall of Fame. I've got the name of it, but it's a plaque. You see it in the Hall of Fame. And, and that Hall of Fame is like people who have legit shoot backgrounds is in that Hall of Fame. And in that Hall of Fame, you actually could go there and look at the other people. Like Dave Meltzer's on Dave Meltzer, Beth Phoenix, Edge, a lot of people's in that Hall of Fame. And it's actually a real legit Hall of Fame. Unlike WWE Hall of Fame, it's just an event. People get like an award, all right, cool, and that's it. You can't even visit it. So whoever wrestling fan feels that how that he like is not fair, you're selfish. Oh, we need to order him, da-da-da-da. You can literally watch all his matches on WWE Network. You can watch all his matches on YouTube. Like, you can say his name in wrestling and it won't be like, like people won't cringe. People will celebrate saying his name. And like, people have to understand, us fans are still keeping his name alive by always mentioning Owen Hart. Like, you can't mention Bret Hart without mentioning Owen Hart and that great feud that they had in WWE. Like, you can't mention Bret Hart without mentioning Owen Hart with him in the Hart Dynasty. So as long as there's wrestling, Owen Hart name will forever ring bells throughout the wrestling scene. And whoever, like I said before, fans just saying what they're saying are selfish. And another thing is, honestly, two more things. Kevin Dunn, people say, I hate Kevin Dunn, da-da-da-da. Why? Kevin Dunn is literally doing his job back from Vince telling him what to do. It was not his call, nothing like that. At the end of the day, you have a job, you have to do your job. JR, he had to do his job. So Kevin Dunn did actually do nothing but do his job. But the one thing I have to say, like I kind of felt like was kind of like wrong, that I understand business-wise, you got to keep the business going. I shouldn't have to match other people, but at the end of the day, the audience would understand, the boys in the back would understand, people watching television would understand why they had to stop the pay-per-view. The fact that blood was still on the apron and the ring was bent, and I still continue. I didn't know that part. I still continue the event. That to me is like low key, like selfish, and it's just like it definitely like hurt me. I'm looking like, dang, like corporations don't really care about us. Like one incident at my job, someone died on the work floor in the work floor in the afternoon when I do like what time in the morning. By the afternoon, people were still working at an operation and nothing happened. I didn't even know that until the next day. So everybody crying, complaining, WWE are monsters, this, that, and third. It just shows you that every corporation are monsters too, because all they care about is their bottom line. Like one of my homegirl, she worked for Amazon deliveries, and for a thank you, mind you, this dude Jeff Bezos is making bank off of this pandemic. He gave all the drivers a thank you note and an extra gum saying thank you. That just shows you that corporations don't care about us.
Like,
yeah, that's it. That's all he gave them.
What kind of gum you wanted? Like,
I'm gonna show you the picture later. And the fact that he did that, it just shows you that, yo, if you want to get on Vince, you got to get on every corporation out here. And third of all, like, final and ending all by saying this way, Martha has all right to deny him being in the WWE Hall of Fame, because if the company that kills your husband is trying to make a kind of profit off of you, like, who will try to like just do that to you, she had all right, because she's the husband, she's the wife. Nobody want to see this from a bigger picture. Understand this: none of y'all fans are helping raise those 2 kids like she did. None of them are on the streets. None of them are doing like craziness. They're doing well off for themselves. One of them is a lawyer, and the other one I forgot the person's name.
She's a journalist.
A journalist. And the fact that she ended up becoming a doctor as a single mother, probably barely helping her own family. So get off of Martha's back and understand that she is a true MVP for raising those 2 kids and still going through those court cases and going against the family, because the family was only focused on, well, you have to understand, you can't go against the big Titan giant, blah, 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 this, that, and third. At the end of the day, whoever thinks, like, I'm going to repeat this and say it one more time. If you're a fan and you think that she's selfish, you have all these bad things to say about her, you try raising 2 kids by yourself. You try doing that. That you call me and let me know how hard it was.
All right, so Wilkins, thoughts on this week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring?
I enjoyed it. I watched it. This is like the 3rd time I watched it.
Good episode though. It was a great episode.
It was a very good episode, and it was extremely one-sided. I will say that. I'm gonna be like devil's advocate on this situation, because it was one-sided. You didn't see WWE's point of why they did certain things. Because let's be real, that clip, the actual clip that was holding him to come down into the ring, that's wild. That was wild. That was the wrong clip to fucking use.
But
like,
that shit was wild. Like
homie weighs, like, I think his son said he weighs like a solid 230 to 250, 100 pounds. Something like that, around that range.
Like, the clip was this size. The size was lighter. This size.
Yeah.
Holding him up.
It was wild. And you mentioned big companies. Companies will always find a way to cut costs. So it was a cost-cutting type of move that somebody lost their life. And because they done that entrance with Shawn, Sting has done that entrance numerous times, but they wanted, from the documentary said, they wanted it to be a type of thing where it came off easier, to make it look better, to make it look clean. And I get that, but they didn't put the money and effort in to make sure it was safe and clean, which is a major issue, and it's something that, like, it costs somebody's life. I did some more research on it, and listen, I'm not taking Vince's side. Vince was very sorry about the situation, and he did offer something, but Martha wanted more, and they later ended up settling. I think they settled out of court, supposedly.
They settled for she got $18 million out of the settlement.
Yeah, because she wanted more, and the thing is, you can't put a price on somebody's life. And her whole thing was like, yo, my husband died in the ring.
Right.
Under your watch, because you wanted him to do this fucking stunt.
Right. That everybody, when you have Jim Cornette of all fucking, that's how I knew it was real. When you have Jim Cornette of all people saying, like, that shit is stupid, I was like, damn, that him of all people is like, this is retarded. Like, why is he doing that? So that's how you know the magnitude of, like, everybody was like, this doesn't make any sense.
But it also, there's like a lot of like hidden jewels in this, and I'm gonna end this real soon. Was about who Owen was.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that the wrestling business is that it hurts when you have a legit family and you're a family person.
Yeah.
And you saw the videos of him like saying, "Hey, I'm about to go wrestle," and he didn't want to because he wanted to be with his family. And you mentioned, Janelle, you mentioned earlier was that he was part of such a huge family of wrestlers that he felt like he had to wrestle.
Yeah.
Like there's that like what if he wasn't a heart? Well, he hasn't been a mailman with a regular family, with a regular
He
life.
wanted to be a fireman. Like from the for the interview she had with Jericho, like he applied to the firefighters and he applied to the academy to be a firefighter every single year, but he never got in because that's like a very prestigious job within that area. So he tried to get out.
Yeah, because he was still about people. He was still about helping people, but he wanted to be close to his family because. So I have a friend that's a firefighter, and they work. Their weeks are like this. They will work from Monday through Thursday, nonstop. Like nonstop. Like you're on call 24 hours. You can't go to bed type of shit.
Yeah.
And then you get like 2 days off sometimes, but it depends on your ranking. So the higher the ranking that you go, the less time you have to spend at the firehouse. But and also, so that means he would have more time with his family. So it makes sense of him wanting to be a firefighter. It's a prestigious role, but it's also more time with family. And I always say this, like these guys are on the road 300 days out the year. Things have changed within the industry because it's less, well, before the pandemic, obviously. There's less house shows and things are slowly changing. But during Owen's time, bruh, you're doing 2 or 3 shows a night. You out on the street 300, and it broke my heart because he just wanted to be a dad and a husband.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to do. And the best thing I heard was his son, and this I'm going to leave it on this, when his son says, "I have amazing memories about my childhood."
That was like the first thing he said. He was like, "I remember so much wonderful things in my childhood."
And the fact that like
one of the
videos that kind of touched me is just like you saw him like to back up the evidence. It's like you saw Owen play with the train set with him, and he's just like smiling. I'm looking like, dang son, that was his Super Nintendo moment right there. B like just like dang son, like.
Yeah, it's hard, you know. You have a love for the business, but then you're a family man first, and it's super like even just growing up, just processing the fact that someone died in the ring, and I like the fact that they had got the referee. I always feel like those little pieces of the story that you don't know. I like the fact that Godfather was able to kind of give that raw feeling of like backstage when he found out. My only grip with the Kevin Dunn thing was the fact that he told JR and he was like, "And you're going live," and I was like, damn, like he couldn't even process that shit. Like it's that to me, I was like, damn. Like,
well, that's the only thing. That's what they have to agree on. Like, I kind of felt that only that Kevin Dunn did wrong. He did nothing wrong. Like, he should have like gave him more time to process it.
Gave him at least
that's the only thing.
60 to process that shit.
Yeah,
like
at least a minute to process it.
A job, and I'm kind of I'm all for like the business side of things. I'm able to see both sides of the coin, so I completely understand like on Vince's and like if I just sit here and be like, yeah, nah, we got to wrap this up. Now you got to deal with refunds. Now you got to deal with customers. You got to deal with all the backlash of like rentals and things on the business side of things. That's a lot to deal with. So that whole notion of show must go on kind of thing, it sucks, but it's also the part of life that sucks. But I think Owen's story is beautiful. I think, growing up, I always was just like, not bitter, but I always was like, damn, I kind of just wish she just let him go in. Like, come on, sis, like, but figure it out. But, her sitting there and saying, like, I could never have the company that took my husband away and not, like, glorify him. I was just like, I can as a woman, I can understand that. As a kid, teenager, you're just like growing up. You're just like, nah, I want to go in. Like, what do you mean? Like everybody else is going on but him, and it's like a snub every year. You feel like, but hearing her those words, like I can never let that happen because they took him away from me. I was like, well, that's that. Like, and then also finding out like she's not, close with the Hart family at all like that. Like her and Brett don't have a relationship anymore. And I was reading an article, and I'll end it off with this. I thought it was juicy, but I was like, oh shit. So I read an article that, once again, she said in the show, some family members were not supportive. Some people were. Some people, as the process of it going on, they kind of started dropping like flies because of the type of like once again power that in the wrestling world like Vince has. But I read an article that one of the reasons her and Brett fell out was because he wanted the footage, like his wrestling footage, to be part of the settlement. Because you remember at that time, he didn't have no contact with Vince. He wasn't fucking with Vince. He didn't fuck with Vince and he spat in his face. So Brett was trying to see if the settlement could include his wrestling footage so that he could use it. And then when she told him like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, then that's when Brett started to rebuild the relationship with Vince so he could get the video stuff. But then the counter, quote that he did in the article, and I'll send it to you guys so you guys can see it. The counter thing he said was just like, it's a multifaceted situation of why me and Martha are not, we don't have a relationship. Because I guess he doesn't like talking about it either. But that's basically what he said. He was just like, no comment, but there's multiple layers into why me and her are not on good terms. And I was just like, I don't think that's something Owen would have wanted. I think, as the family man that he was, I think he would want, his family to all be supportive and have that type of relationship. So it's just kind of unfortunate. But, I think it's definitely, if you have not seen the episode, it's the season finale of Dark Side of the Ring season 2. Last question before we do move on to talking about Undertaker. What was your favorite episode of the season?
Oh man, it gotta be the UWF, man. Oh man. man. If you guys haven't seen it, it's great. Another piece you should actually watch it with it too that will help is a guy on YouTube called Wrestling with Regret, and he covered the UWF too. Like if you like certain stuff that Vice didn't cover, he covered it too on his page, and it's very good. But personally, that was my favorite episode because I felt that I was playing a video game. Like, I felt that from the beginning to the end, I'm watching it, and I'm looking like, yo, he did Coco. He did Coco.
Up with the Coco. Like, that was real.
To me, that was my favorite episode because, like, it was just, like, to me, it was my favorite episode. It was just, like, to me, it was just, like, it's something that, if you could make it into a movie or some kind of movie plot, man, I would enjoy it. Like, that was my favorite episode, beginning to the end. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Wilkins, favorite episode of the season?
Favorite episode has to be the New Jack episode. That one.
Oh, yeah. That one was good, too.
That one was crazy. And you also, if you paid attention, he dropped mad jewels on how to create a character in the ring and outside the ring.
Oh, and the promo skills was A1.
Yeah, but he was just talking about how to be that guy and how to be, like, entertaining. And that's something that a lot of wrestlers don't know how to do. And he broke it down low key without sounding like a fucking textbook. It's literally my favorite one. And the Owen Hart one comes very close. But there's one thing that you said about the Hart family and how they're not close. The Hart family is a wrestling family. And Vince McMahon borderline owns wrestling. So I get it. Yeah. I really, really get it. It's there's some deep shit in there we don't know about or what was said behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's just like,
You tell people just play ball, but sometimes it's just, I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you really are a true fan of Owen Hart, you can support his foundation and buy a T-shirt on Pro Wrestling T-shirt and all the pro shoes.
really dope, and I actually really like when you turn a bad situation into a really positive situation.
Yo,
Like
single mothers with kids are doing it because of her, the foundation that she set for them through Owen, and like it shows, like his son said, Owen's bigger than wrestling. That was just his job. One thing aspect about that you love about Owen, but like, yo, because of his death, now thousands and millions of single mothers could actually have the help they need to actually do this because of Owen. And at the end of the day, wrestling just a job. Wrestling just keep all of us entertained. But at the end of the day, that is just your job, and the world is bigger than what you do. So,
I'll leave off, and then we'll talk about Undertaker last ride episode, chapter 2. My favorite episode was the Chris Benoit. Sorry, not sorry. Not only was it the 2 hour, it was the only 2 hour episode of the season
ever.
I just think that, once again, there's a whole bunch of conspiracies and all that jazz. But regardless, Chris Benoit is by far one of the best technical wrestlers of all time. And regardless, of the unfortunate events, like just having certain people, talk about him, how learning, I honestly did not understand the depth of how hard he took losing Eddie. That shit, like, I couldn't even fathom that. So learning that, and then also, the reuniting of his son and Nancy's sister, so his aunt at the end, and Jericho kind of being the glue to kind of, to put that together. Like, I just think, to learn, it was a beginning, middle, and end. It was a whole legit like story. And you got to kind of understand, certain things and see differently. Because, we learned that it happened, and then you kind of move on from it, and then he was kind of blackballed and all that stuff, but it still doesn't take away from how talented Chris Benoit was in the ring. So the Chris Benoit episode was my favorite, and also too, shout outs to Vice for getting Chris Jericho to narrate 80% of that entire season.
Oh yeah,
like Jericho's voice over is
soothing. The critical moments, you feel it. He says Nancy didn't want it.
I was like, yeah, like
excellent.
I could watch this now because he's doing
excellent.
it.
Excellent.
Right, let's talk about Undertaker's Chapter 2 last ride episode on the WWE Network. I think they got like 3 or 4 more episodes left. So every Sunday they're gonna release a new episode, a different chapter. I feel like this is the only person that they've done this for. They've literally created a docu series 3 years in the making, legit. And that to me is phenomenal because it literally like you guys have been kind of putting the pieces of this all together, and you can appreciate the different times. So like chapter 1 was like WrestleMania 30. Chapter 2 was basically WrestleMania in New Orleans. So that was 33? No, 34. He came back and stuff like that. I love it. Wilkins, what were some takeaways you got from this week's last ride chapter 2?
So it was really good. These 2 docs have been absolutely amazing. And a part of me loves it, but a part of me is like, yo, damn, like you're taking away the fantasy of like you're breaking kayfabe. You know how I'm out when it comes to kayfabe and shit. And you start, you watch it and you're like, oh, this is amazing. We're getting that behind the scenes look, but then you're like, oh, this motherfucker's in love in a whole ass relationship, married.
When he almost got choked up about Michelle, I almost got choked up. I said, oh no, don't do this.
and you start seeing the human side of this bigger than life figure, and you're like, oh, he goes through things. Oh, he beats himself up. Oh, he gets sad. He gets depressed. He gets mad. He gets happy. He's in love. And you start seeing it, you're like, yo, he's human. And I think the internet wrestling community sometimes forgets who these people are. I'm gonna keep it a buck. There are certain things that some people, particularly the African American community, was mad about his T-shirt. about his Blue Lives Matter T-shirt. I'm gonna bring it up. It's a shaky subject, and I don't know nobody's heart on it, like his intentions, because we can assume one thing,
right?
But we can assume something else. Because shout outs to 2020 podcast. Nate hit me up. He's like, "Yo, have you been hearing what's going on Twitter?" Because the whole situation with him and his Blue Lives Matter, him potentially having a Nazi T-shirt on. Like, what do you think about this? I was like, I don't know what to say, because I know he was cool with like a bunch of Samoans and a bunch of black people at WWE in the locker room. Especially, he was cool with Umaga. He was cool with like the Samoan tribe.
Godfather.
Like,
My man.
yeah, hold on. Wait. Like, yeah, Godfather, Mark Henry. So I'm just like, yo, I can't say the dude is racist, but the reason why I'm saying it is because we have that responsibility here. Because I saw it trending a lot, and I was scrolling through it. I was scrolling through it to see what can I say, but it's like there's so many things that's leading to the fact that he cares about brown and black people. But then that T-shirt throws people off because, like, yo, you're wearing a Blue Lives Matter T-shirt. But my thing is, he educated enough to understand the meaning behind it? Maybe he's just saying, yo, I want to make sure I have friends who are police officers. I want to make sure they're safe. So I don't know, but that doc showed his human side. That documentary showed that he's not the Undertaker. He's Mark Calloway playing the Undertaker. And it's deep. The documentary is really, 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 really deep. And I'm going to see the next episode. I remember I told Shorty, I was like, yo, I'm watching this documentary. This is awesome. And then
Shorty messaged me because I posted about it. She was like, oh my God, my childhood. I was sitting here bawling, and I was like, bitch, me too.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm watching the thing. I was like, yo, just use my my login for the network. She's like, all right, cool. And she's like, yo, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. Because he spanned so many decades. And I'll leave it on this note is Vince, you can say what he wants to say. He's a CEO. As a CEO, you have to make you have to make fucked up decisions for the betterment of the company. Mm-hmm. And that's when your human side is like left in the dust. Like that Owen shit is fucked up on a human level.
Oh, fuck.
Completely fucked up.
And Jimmy Fly.
Yeah, and Jimmy Fly Snuka. Like, fuck. No. You raised a good point. The Chris Benoit situation, another fucked up thing. Like, low-key, Dark Side of the Ring should be called Dark Side of Vince.
Because 80% of the episodes be like shitting on Vince low-key.
But then again, it's just kind of like, yo, when you are the one who brought wrestling to where it is right now, yo, you're gonna have skeletons in your closet. I'm not defending him, but I'm speaking realistically. I mean, dead realistic. Just like in politics, the longer you are in politics, the more skeletons you have in your closet. Joe Biden, a lot of people don't know, he was the one who orchestrated the whole 94 crime bill. Skeletons in his closet. Everybody has that skeleton in the closet.
Everybody does, but there's a reason why. I remember a friend of mine said this. He was like, yo, CEOs and owners get paid top dollar to make decisions that's right for the company. Mm-hmm. And some of those decisions aren't good for people. On a conscious level, it's not good. It's not good. And these past 3 weeks, we've been seeing that. But Vince, if you're loyal to Vince, Vince loves you. Vince loves you, and that's who I always been. So when they were talking about, hey, I'll take a bullet for Vince. When Undertaker said I'll take a bullet for Vince, I felt that because the nigga rolled with you.
Whenever he rolled shit, who stayed?
Yes. And he stayed with you. You stayed. You stayed. And that's the reason why people get mad at Cena. Granted, Cena, once again, we're all humans. Cena does some fucked up shit. But when Cena dropped that promo on Roman Reigns, it was like, yo, everybody left except for me. Because remember, the Ruthless Aggression era, majority of the people left to go to Hollywood and do other things. Cena stayed. And we just gotta, you gotta love loyalty, man. And they reward loyalty.
You can't buy.
Listen. Zack Ryder, your boy, Mr. Black, was with the company for mad long. And he wouldn't have built the company for long if it was because of the pandemic. So there's something there when Vince is like, yo, he's been here, he's loyal, he does his job, I'm gonna keep him around. And when it comes to Undertaker to leave us off, Vince almost cried.
Yeah.
No, matter of fact, he almost cried. Nigga cried.
He cried.
He cried.
I was sitting in my house choked up because everybody. First of all, Vince is a Virgo, so I definitely relate to all that shit. And I was just like, just to see the emotion, and you rarely see emotion from Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So the raw emotion in that, when he asked him about Mark Calloway, I said, oh no. I said, oh no, like don't sit here and cry because it's gonna make me cry. Because you don't see that out of Vince. And once again, it definitely shows a side of Vince that no one sees. It shows the human in Vince that everyone thinks that he's just this bad guy and wants to always put, negativity on his name. It's like, but he has a different and raw connection to individuals that have been loyal to him and that has supported him and that has had his back. And The Undertaker by far is probably the most loyal nigga in wrestling. Like, my nigga wrestled when he knew he wasn't supposed to on a bad hit.
Yeah.
On a broken foot. He was climbing the hell in the cell with a broken foot. That is crazy.
Crazy.
Raw. Toughest man in pro wrestling. Remember, y'all remember that part where they're in the hospital and they're going through his injuries?
Oh my God! First of all, when he said both his eyes like socket like busted, I said, when? When did that happen? First of all, how does that happen? And second, when did that happen?
I just want that the whole thing to be done so you can do on demand on it. So I can show people who are not wrestling fans who talk shit about wrestling about this is the life. Like, his hip is fucked up. He has 15 straight injuries. Like, it just boggles my mind when people's like, oh, that shit is fake. I can do that shit. Did I ever tell you that story when you probably don't know it's Mr. Black, but I'm at my shoot job. I got my phone down, got my phone right here. It's leaning against a little coffee thing, whatever. I'm watching. What am I watching? I'm watching some match. No, I'm catching up, and I'm watching like either AEW or Raw, something of that nature. I'm catching up, and this girl that I work with, she's like, "Yo, what are you watching?" I was like, "I'm watching some wrestling." So I'm chilling, and she was like, "Yo, how old are you?" So moment of silence because I was about to kill her. So I turned around. I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "You're watching wrestling. You're eating kitty chips. Like, grow up." I was like, first of all, I got the kitty chips because I didn't want that much carbohydrates. That's one. Number two,
Lunchables, B. Clutch.
Because it keeps the serving size down. That's the first thing. So I go
down the heaven.
Health
Thank you. So then I looked at her. I was like, "Yo, you ever been in the ring?" She's like, "No." Okay, then. You could never be in the ring, though. She's like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "Because you can't. The fact that you're saying that, you can't.
Your mentality is fucked up.
You can't."
Yeah, definitely messed up.
And the thing about it, people die every day from this shit? Like Droz?
They had Droz on multiple episodes, and I was just like, God damn, he looks so messed up.
He's paralyzed from the waist, from the neck down.
Accident that he doesn't even blame D-Lo for.
And the thing about it just happened. because shit like that can happen in pro wrestling. And then she looked at me, she was like, yo, you are. I was like, no, don't talk about something you know nothing about. Like, you never took a bump a day in your life, so don't say nothing. And people are quick to that. And then I just want people to see this shit for what it is. Like, yo, granted, it's predetermined. But if I'm taking a chair shot on my back, I'm not being replaced by somebody, but I stunt double. Like, Mark is showing this epic side of it. Like, yo, it's a struggle. It's a struggle being a pro wrestler. Like, he doesn't remember the match with Brock Lesnar.
That's
since 3 o'clock.
Like, how the
Since
fuck
3
you don't
o'clock. I was gonna say this about Undertaker as far as T-shirt. I didn't notice because I didn't care because I didn't care to even notice it. And honestly, those clips are from like 4 years ago, three years ago. So whoever would think that we're some white supremacists for me defending somebody wearing that shirt, suck my dick. So continue. So you don't know what his mindset is right now.
Life Matters thing, like there are guys of color are cops.
Cops.
So,
And
it's necessarily like you like, oh, I'm all for the white man and fuck niggers. Like, no, it's not that. It's just like that could be.
Said fuck nigga. That was rough.
But that's how people. But that's how.
yeah.
That's they mentality on that when they see that, because I noticed it. I noticed the Texas with the blue cross, like the blue like line on it, and I knew that meant like Blue Lives Matter. But when you think about it, there are multiple people of color that are cops.
Yeah, most people have come on cops, and on top of that is that I don't know what's his mindset. I don't know what his mindset is. And at one point, everybody was wearing Confederate flags, even black people back in the day. Because when you thought of South people, you thought of Confederate flags. You thought of that. And you only think that, oh, I gotta get me one if I don't represent that, if I'm pretend that I'm a down South person. We all thought that. So we don't know what his mindset is right now. And just like my brother said, not one time throughout the whole wrestling business, I talked to many wrestlers I didn't say anything racist or crazy. Like, everybody would say that, yo, Undertaker, oh, let me tell you what he did to me. Undertaker, we did this, that, third. Not one time I heard racism. Compared to all these other people around his era, you heard stuff about Ric Flair, you heard stuff about a lot of these wrestlers saying racist stuff. Not one time I heard about Undertaker. Like, come on, like, he got like he's cool with Godfather. He cool with the Samoans. Pictures of him chilling with Yokozuna, Godfather. You see him chilling with Owen Hart. You see him chilling in the back with The Rock. They just chilling there talking that. He had a match with Mark Henry at WrestleMania. He didn't have to. He put over The Rock mad times. Mad brothers he put over. And I don't think I understand the bigger picture, like giving back to the business. And to me, whoever want to nitpick at this, honestly, shut up and just like stop nitpicking wrestling and understand who the person is first. People are so tied up to the person's character. Undertaker does not go around and sleep in a coffin at night with Michelle McCool. His kids are not the undead spawn of Satan. No, they have actual names. They play actual games. So separate the character from the real person. Mark, what I got of this, the number one thing I got from this is when he took off his gear, put it in the ring, I didn't see it as, I saw it from different angles since years past, I'm a little older. I saw it as, oh, he's retiring. He's not really retired Undertaker as a character, but he's coming, like he's showing Mark who the world is Mark Calloway is. That I'm separating the two people. I'm leaving Undertaker in the ring where he belongs. From this moment forward, you're gonna see Mark as a character. Because if you notice, like he had him doing more, like he was trying to do more appearances until Vince stopped that. If you notice, he had the thing with on the podcast with Stone Cold. If you notice, this whole last ride thing. So him leaving in the ring opened up a whole new avenue of who Mark Calloway is as a person. And because of that, we got the introduction to the whole cinematic universe. Undertaker started AJ Styles. Like I didn't feel that was, I felt that was Undertaker, but I felt that was like a new swaggy. He had a different swag to him. Like, yeah, I'm Undertaker. You know, I can still bring lightning down, but yeah, I'm still driving my motorcycle. Like, he blended. Like, there's like this that the line is there's no in between to Undertaker and Mark Calloway. They're all this is I'm Mark. So happily I wrestle, and yeah, that's it. And that's what I'm gathering from this. It's just like Undertaker, like just so much. Like, I didn't appreciate him growing up because I was like, oh, that's Undertaker because he was old, reliable. You know, he's always going to be there. You know, Undertaker's going to be there from Generation Jerry, from the Ruthless Aggression, from the Attitude Era, from the PG era, from the Quarantine era. Like, Undertaker's always going to be here. So
it is the Quarantine era.
The Quarantine
era. The Quarantine
He got
era.
a good point. He got a good point. It's the Quarantine era, B.
Quarantine
era. Quarantine era.
Yo,
So
COVID-19.
Overall, it taught me this. At the end of the day, don't lose who you are. Continue to be yourself through it all. Just make sure that whatever hat you put on, either as a son, a father, a wrestler, a firefighter, make sure you give it your all. And because at the end of the day, loyalty is over everything.
Loyalty. Okay, I'm going to just quick things and then we'll move on to the tweet of the week. And then we'll go on This Week in Wrestling. So you brought up the laying the coat and the hat in the ring because I was there for that. And when I tell you that stadium was silent, the stadium was silent. It was almost like we were at a funeral. Like, it was by far one of the, like, you left the stadium sad. Like, you would, like, it was a somber feel, but
it wasn't Basuto.
How many years ago was that?
That was what Orlando was. What? Hold on, because New York.
3? Is that 3?
Orlando, yeah. So 3 years ago.
3. Yeah. So I remember that because did Nia win?
No, that's New Orleans.
Okay.
But just to bring that point up, like, as a person that in the stadium there, you know, and I love that Undertaker. So for me, it was just like, is it really happening? Is this like you were sad, and then, you know, then come to find out, you know, he has a surgery with the hip, and then, you know, my whole thing was Taker with the new hip is the way to go.
Oh man, you saw the difference.
A hell of a difference. What I was also, my few points. Michelle McCool is probably by far one of the most supportive wives I've ever seen in wrestling, and I don't feel like I knew that prior to this.
Yeah.
We getting jackets? Don't make me get up and get mine. I got 2. I got 2 Undertaker jackets. Don't make me get up and get mine. But Michelle McCool is by far one of the most supportive women wives in wrestling, and it just their actual story. Because I always wondered, like, what the fuck they got in common? Like, what how did that happen? And for Undertaker to, you know, for them to be like, he fell in love with me the moment I threw a football, I was like, that is by far the dopest story I've ever heard. Like, I was just like, that's so cute and simple and like, what the fuck? But it was their story. For Undertaker, and it goes back to, I think you mentioned it to me, or maybe on the podcast, about like how Taker is training without having to ring. And then all of a sudden, after the hip surgery, they finally get the ring. Why he didn't have that all this time?
No, yeah, I had said that because I think I said it maybe in our group chat or something. I was like, yo, it doesn't make sense because you can work out, but it's different from being in the ring. And I kept saying that, and then you kept saying, nah, he's fine. I was like, no, it's a difference from working out regular with weights and conditioning than to working out in the ring.
So when he said WWE got him a ring, I said, what took y'all niggas so long to get him a ring? Like, I got for real now?
But then again, I'm not surprised because Undertaker come from a different generation. Like, as far as working out, like, Undertaker just now working out how he's supposed to for his body now after the hip surgery. Imagine if he was working out and nowhere about health and nutrition back in the day. He would not be needing all those surgeries. Certain surgery would not need. So it's like he has different mindset. It's like he's from a different era. That's why. Back in the day, not everybody had rings. It's kind of like a rare Pokemon. It wasn't that common.
He definitely is a rare Pokemon. And then I love, you know, I just love the fact that you just see a different side of Undertaker. You get to understand the man, the myth, the legend. You know, and it just every a part of me just like crumbles because I'm like, I know the time is coming, like tick tock, and I know watching the series is preparing me for that time when Undertaker's like, I'm out, like I'm out.
I mean, he's here for another 15 years. So.
Biggest thing was the thing with Vince and how Michelle said, if Vince needs him, he will go. And I just think that's just a testament to loyalty and having that bond. And then even after the match he had with Cena at New Orleans, because I really didn't realize how decent of a match that was. I was high as fuck there. But when I watched it during the documentary, I was like, yo, that wasn't a bad match. Like, Taker was moving. And when he went back in Gorilla, and just the embrace of him and Vince and him thanking Vince for him having that redemption, he said, I didn't do it for, the kicks and giggles. Like, I did it, for me. Like, that. Like, this was about me and me proving to myself that I could do it. And I just think...
only issue to this day is, I could take the fact he loses to Brock. I could take that. But...
No, I still can't.
I could take that because it is what it is. You can't change it. But the one thing I said that it made no sense, even for, like, when they told the story back, him beating Bray Wyatt, like, why? Like, if Undertaker literally took the year off when he's supposed to and didn't face Bray, who would have known what had happened? We probably got the hip surgery earlier.
He didn't face Bray, and Bray didn't go through that journey that we would have Bray Wyatt now, how he is. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, true. I see the bigger picture.
So
I don't think it would have ever worked out because he needed that hip surgery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he needed that hip surgery.
8 months to watch them. That's intense. It takes you 8 months to watch the match you was in because you was just so embarrassed, and he felt so bad for Roman, and then for Roman to, and everybody knows I ain't a Roman fan like that, but for Roman to, when they had that conversation and Roman was like, no, like that's not how I took it. That's not how I see it. Like, it was an honor. Like, regardless, like shit didn't work out the way we really wanted it to work out, but I still can walk away saying I wrestled the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
It wasn't that much of a bad match that Undertaker makes it seem. It was.
It wasn't, but I think because of the sloppy ending, that's where he gets tripped up at. Because it wasn't a sloppy ending.
No, it's a great point because I remember I was talking to Bruce, and he was like, it doesn't matter about the middle of the match, it's all about the ending. And you have a good point because he mentioned he was wrestling Cruz, Big Daddy Cruz.
Yeah.
In a match, and Cruz fell. Like I think he was supposed to do like a Samoan, his move is like he basically puts you on the shoulder like a fireman's carry, and then kind of like rolls onto the floor. Some weird shit. But he messed it up the first time, picked him up, flung him, but he flung him into a table. And then the first time he did, when he messed up, the crowd was going, you fucked up, you fucked up, you fucked up. And then when he redid the finish, the crowd was like, oh my God, that's amazing, that's amazing. So, because when you think about it on a psychology point of view, which you raised, Janelle, you're remembering the last thing.
Yeah. You don't remember the bell rings, you don't remember the middle of the match, you always remember the ending.
Yeah, because you're like, oh shit, that was dope, but I'm gonna remember some sloppy ass finish. And I'm like, okay, so that was the match? Alright, cool. But the crazy thing about it, the finish wasn't that. The finish was the hat, the jacket in the middle of the ring. That's what most of us remember.
Yeah.
We don't remember the sloppy finish.
And I was there, and I remember, the only thing honestly I do remember outside of the hat and jacket was the spear. That was the only thing I remember. It wasn't until when I watched the episode and when he tried to tombstone him and he slipped. And I vaguely remember that, but it wasn't something I was
me though.
Shit.
But then again, like I feel this way is hindsight being 2020, and me being like a real junkie for storytelling, it add character to his story. You know, it add like little more like spice to it. Like, dang, my nigga Undertaker getting old though, son, and it just shows you that like Undertaker's not the same.
But I know the time is coming. But all right,
right.
Wait, what?
I'm saying right, like you know the time is coming for him to about
no,
to retire.
I know coming, and I'm just y'all gonna have to listen when Taker goes into the Hall of Fame. Listen, everyone listening, viewing, Taker goes into the Hall of Fame. Make sure y'all have a bottle of Henny next, like near, so I can just drown in my sorrows and get me as close to the stage without looking very stalkerish to the ceremony because I need to be there. I need to wear both my Taker jackets. Like I'm gonna have an outfit change. It's gonna be wild. But anyway, let's go on to last but not least. The tweet of the week comes from your boy Tamatonga, and he posted a picture. That picture is so wild. Like I don't understand why no one really talks about their pictures as much as they should. But he posted a picture of Kenny and Cody kissing. And I said it, kissing. Weird.
Well,
and
he's bisexual though. So.
And his quote was, "Yeah, Kenny like."
Yeah. Like there's a whole documentary on YouTube called you can look it up, and he talks about his relationship with the Golden Lovers.
No, it's fine. I don't judge him.
I care less.
But Tommy Tucker tweeted. He said he posted a picture of Cody and Kenny Omega kissing and put in quotes, "We ain't done, bitches." Like it's like damn. Like first of all, he's really aggressive. Like
very.
How he does promos, how he does interviews, how he just talks. That nigga is aggressive. Like
I beat up Simon Miller at one point. He tried to beat up Simon Miller.
I dig it though. So a question to the table is, are they planting the seeds for a Bullet Club / All Elite battle?
Yes, that is something. That is money. That is a lot of fucking money. Like a lot of money.
Trust me, Bullet Club. Come on, man.
Like it's gonna be a ton of money because they were all the Bullet Club at one point. So plant the seeds, let it grow, do some good storylines, and just imagine Bullet Club runs up into an AEW arena when this is all over. Like, just imagine that.
What they should do is do it. New Japan did with ROH, but instead of ROH, let it be AEW, and do a big event at the Garden like that.
No, regardless of how you do it,
it's
gonna sell out in 2 seconds. Like it's gonna sell, and I need to be there. Like, I need to be there. I love it. I think it's dope. And when we talk about Double or Nothing, I'll tell you some stuff of that because they've been building that up really well, in my opinion. I have a couple of issues with it, but we've mentioned that in the at Gorilla pre-production.
We have our own Gorilla.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, MrBlacc, real quick. Are they planting the seeds for a future Bullet Club versus All Elite battle?
Yeah, of course. This is great. This is a great way because already they have like a somewhat work relationship. Lyle and Moxley, Chris to go over there and continue their, going back and forth. Of course, Marty Scurll is over there at ROH at the head booker, and they're just trying to build bridges. Like a working relationship. This is great for all 3 companies, and I feel like not all 3 companies, but all 3 companies. Yeah, this is great. It's gonna up their ticket sale, merchandise sales. Imagine the T-shirt they could sell like Bullet Club versus Elite. Like having updated shirts now. Everything is up and up, and everybody wins. Not only just the wrestlers, the companies, and the people who sell the merch, people at the stadiums. It's just everybody, especially now after the whole pandemic is end up, dying. When the pandemic is dying down, people want wrestling. That would be a hot storyline, like Bullet Club versus Elite, AEW versus New Japan. Like it's up and up. So I'm for it.
All right, so let's move on real quick to this week in wrestling. Stop taking a picture of me, clown. We'll go around one up, one down for this week in wrestling. Once we do that, we will get into our AEW Double or Nothing predictions, since Double or Nothing will be this weekend. So we'll start from Mr. Black. One up, one down for this week in wrestling.
Of course, welcome back, the walking Armageddon, Bobby Lashley. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, King. I see you out here. You've been training. Once again, I'm always like, I've been preaching this forever is, yeah, sometimes you're going to go through the stupid valleys, and let's focus on WWE. And WWE, you're going to have some stupid moments, And overall, I have to say how they've been booking Bobby way before him tying with MVP. It's been pretty solid because his run with Leo Rush, he had a lot of great moments before he became the booty monster. Before that, he was the booty monster. Like he had a great solid run. He had great solid matches. The BP team, him and Braun Strowman, like getting on Raw.
Oh, this him and Braun good. I won't even hold you today.
Monsters going at it.
Underrated.
Monsters. Underrated. My son is chilling there. Next thing you know, everybody, God. They fought and anyways, form match in the stairs, brawling. Then him and his mini feud with Kevin Owens, where he injured Kevin Owens. That's why Kevin Owens was out for so long, but they never revisit that storyline. Or you had him showing,
There was nothing there.
But it could have been a good story, him coming back, whatever. And the fact that people forgetting, like, him going through the whole Lana situation, it actually showed him another side of his comedian side that, yo, I'm flexible to do funny stuff. Because the fact that how you marry somebody like in a bow tie, looking mad brolic, little suit like this, like, can you be serious? Like, him going over Rusev, beat him all the time. And now, finally, when he transitioned going against Drew McIntyre, you're looking like he have a good body of work. And now these like big boys, beefy boys going at it. Oh man, I don't care if he lose or win. I just want a good match, and I know Drew will give him that good match. The Scottish Psychopath versus the Black Armageddon, the Black Plague. Oh man, match them going at it. Matter of fact, going at it at Armageddon. Bobby Lashley pay-per-view. Armageddon. The Walking Armageddon versus Scottish Psychopath. Can't wait.
All right.
MVP talking trash like me. Can you imagine if MVP still my sayings? I'm like, oh man. That's like Yaya going against Montana Black. Two monsters. Oh man.
Have they fought?
Who?
Yeah, they did.
Yaya Montana?
Yeah. It's on YouTube. Big beefy boys. Beefy boys. I love some beefy boy matches. I love beefy boy matches. Love it.
Sounds nagging. Sounds nagging.
Shout out to Prolific, Tyree. I see you over there, beefy boy. Beefy boys in wrestling now.
Nagging.
No, wait. Mr. Black, you're one down.
I'm not giving no more downs no more because it's not fair. Like honestly,
fair.
Because the reason I'm not giving like cause it's like my downs with a lot of asterisks because we're in a quarantine era. I'm just grateful that I have wrestling. So to show my appreciation, I thought about it earlier. I'm not gonna give no more downs. Just try to think the positive in this time because the ratings are down on WWE. Not everybody's watching. People are complaining. I was like, you know what? Why add more negative to the atmosphere? I'm just gonna be positive. So no more negatives for me.
Okay, Sir Wilkins.
My biggest up is Austin Theory and my man Seth Rollins.
Oh man,
they teaming up like so. So I've been loving what Seth's been doing. I'm happy he changed out of his Zara outfit into a suit. I'm all about the new look. I'm all about the looking like the 7-day advantage church leader.
You look like a youth pastor.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but I'm loving what Seth is doing, and then because I knew that they were going to that Austin was getting out of Zelina's group. I thought they were going to send him down to NXT.
Yeah, that was reports, yeah.
So, when they kept him, and then the way that they did it, he gave him a hug in the ring. Welcome. And then you had Buddy, like you said, jealous and shit, like, yo, oh, damn, B, like, yo, you love some Lugo?
Like, that shit is wild.
But I love that. And I'm sorry, I got two ups. I don't have really no downs. Matter of fact, I do got a down. Let's be real.
Hey, you're alive. Have a down.
My down is I'm loving the Double or Nothing build-up. But if I'm gonna give you a compliment, I'm about to give you a shit sandwich. Compliment on top, shit in the middle. So the shit in the middle is I don't like Jon Moxley and Brody Lee's build-up.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
I think as we can have tweeners, but I need a clear-cut face and a clear-cut heel.
For it to
make sense. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, I am a little bit more educated with wrestling, so I'm looking for certain things when it comes to what's going on. But fuck it. If I'm a babyface, why the hell am I trying to break a jobber's arm with a chair?
What they do? Why do?
He's like I said with Moxley, he's like unhinged. Like, you know, even New Japan, like people just love him because that's his unhinged personality. Like in life, we all love the crazy nigga in movies. You know, like we love Old Dog. You know, Old Dog was clearly a bad guy, but we love his energy. We love Cameron and Paid in Full. He was a hothead, but we loved him because he was just like his entertainment.
But Cameron was a heel. Remember that.
You knew that. You knew he was a bad guy. You knew he was a snake ass nigga. You knew that.
Yeah, you knew he was a heel.
No, I get it.
But it's like you need that difference. And Brody Lee, like, he's not coming off as a super heel, not coming as a super babyface either. Because okay, when he fought Kenny Omega, that's one of my favorite matches with Moxley. A lot of people don't like it. That unsanctioned match, a lot of people don't like that match. That match was fire. That's one of the few Jon Moxley matches I actually liked. That match was the shit. But you knew who the heel was and who the face was. Yes or no? You knew, oh, this is the bad guy. Oh, shit. But this is the problem with AEW. They're going too much off the fans. So you pop back up. Everybody's excited about you, but you're moving like a heel.
But the problem is right now, like I said before, like you gotta judge it on a curve because there's no audience. You understand? There's no real fans.
No audience has nothing to do with how you present.
No, it does. Because it's just like, think about it this way, right? It's easier, like, let's say, like, all the audience, like from before the quarantine era started, the Dark Order was heels. And put in a perfect world, the audience is there. It would have been easier because maybe, like, they're able to feed off the audience, like, oh, the audience don't really like that. Let me be more heelish, get more of a pop. So that's why I said it's kind of hard because there's no audience.
So I challenge you, and let's say if there was an audience this past week on AEW, and Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, whatever you want to call him today, and he did that. He did the exact same shit to old boy and tried.
The audience cheer.
And the crowd booed. Then what?
Then after that, it's either you got two decisions: either Jon Moxley will just stand there and do nothing, or he improvised on the spot. There's only two things you could do at that point.
That's the kind of like catch-22 when you have a crowd and you don't have a crowd, because the crowd can react. The crowd can react the way you don't even intend that shit to be, or the crowd can react the way you want them to. Like
but it helps.
For me, the no crowd shit, it makes me focus more on the actual what's going on in the ring and what they're actually trying to present to us as a product versus it being like, oh, it's an energy-based thing. Because, I mean, granted, there have been matches, and, we're going to get, when I talk about my up and we talk about NXT, in your house, the reemerging of that and that being a live, like if that was a live thing, off the fucking charts. Like, and that's just any takeover really. So I get the importance of like the energy of the crowd. However, that should never, it should never take away from the actual storytelling of what's going on. And I think that's what the issue is with the Brody Lee and the the John Moxley shit, because to me, that's the only match that I felt like they just threw to the wall and was like, oh, we'll just see how that works. And it's just like, wait, like everything else for the most part, and we'll get to the predictions, makes sense. They've built it. They've talked about it. It makes sense. The Brody Lee, John Moxley thing doesn't really make too much sense to me.
It doesn't.
Unless Brody was walking away with the title, which clearly he's not, because nigga is holding the damn title. How you steal the title a week before the pay-per-view?
I like that. That was cool. That was cool. But you need to manipulate the so this is my thing. And I try to like figure it out. Are you showing John Moxley being frustrated? Are you showing John Moxley
another layer to the character? He got frustrated. That's how he broke number 10. Makes sense.
Yeah, so are you showing him being frustrated? But the thing is, you're not portraying that well enough to show the audience like, hey, he's frustrated with this shit. And that's why he went off the hinge. Because you mentioned he's an unhinged character. That is fine. But you're not portraying that. He just went off and just started throwing it to him, I'm gonna beat this guy up.
And it's all nigga to take your anger out on. Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It makes it because Seth did something of that nature when he was feuding with Bray. He got frustrated. He overdone it. You've seen it many times in pro wrestling. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, when he lost that match because he went left, his emotions got the better of him. But Dean Ambrose never portrayed a cool mentality throughout, so it's a buildup of like, hey, I'm frustrated before the actual event. We never got that. That's okay. Because I can't justify you using that chair and trying to break homie's arm.
It's kind of like let's compare his the build-up between him and Jericho. Like when he grabbed Santana, got the spikes, and he poked them. I see what you mean. You showed the frustration because you said eye from eye, and that's
exactly
really his unhinged character because you got okay. All right,
yeah,
because it's
you never questioned Moxley doing that to Santana. You just was like, well, that's payback, bitch. There you go.
Okay, I get what you mean. It's just like, what's his motive? He's missing a motive. Why are you going so hard on the Dark Order so much? Just because the next up challenge? What's your reason? What's your motive? What he did to you? All he did was take your title. But that kind of that's not good enough motive. But okay, I see what you mean.
It's not at
because
all.
It's sometimes you need a point A. Why you went from point A to point B to point C? You don't have to completely spell it out. But if I'm watching it, I gotta be like, yo, why is he spazzing on this dude? Because you're doing heel shit. Now, granted, are you trying to transform the game into something else? Maybe. I don't know. But basic heel shit you're doing right there, it's kind of like, yo, and the way that you're walking, the way that you grab the mic, you're starting like, yo, fuck this shit. Like, yo, nigga, you're moving like a heel. It's not swag. It's more like, yo, fuck all of this. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like these little things, and once again, maybe I'm nitpicking. Maybe I'm nitpicking at the game because I see things a whole lot different. We all see things differently.
I think you raised a valid point because even when you asked the question earlier before, we were in Gorilla, you asked that question, and then I watched the clip, and I was just like, there is no heel. There is no face. Like, what he did, he confused the fuck out of everybody. Like, now you're like, do I root for Brody Lee? Do I root for John Moxley? Like, who do I want to actually win? Because if all honesty, I'm pretty confident that Brody Lee and the Dark Order is probably more over than John Moxley. And I'm pretty confident that if Brody Lee did win the title, nobody would have an issue with that.
And the thing is, I look back to last week and the week before. He stole the title from him. Granted.
Yeah.
Where's the frustration? When are you showing me like, yo, I'm mad pissed that he lost the title? Because your promos were babyface promos.
Sure.
That's what they were. They were babyface promos.
But then your actions was some heel shit.
True. Makes sense. What's the transition from your character?
There was something else. There was another good for you this week.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
My boy on AEW, Marco Stunt. That's my boy. I'm loving his matches. I'm loving my boy's matches. Also, I just want to... No, I love my boy, man. He's fighting from the bottom. He got that fire in his belly. He's trying to beat everything. I love it. I love that little man. Pause. Now,
major pause.
Something I just want to highlight is AR Fox, bro. Like, I want to highlight AR Fox. I want to highlight all the black indie dudes that's just been stepping it up for AEW Dark.
And hold up, not only AEW Dark, but also like on Raw and on NXT, like legit. Like when I kept like I kept saying AR Fox kids on fucking Raw and NXT, I was like, goddamn.
Shout out to Big Swole. She made her return to AEW this week.
Yay.
So it's like you're seeing that, and like Liam Gray. He wrestled Karrion Kross. That's an AR Fox kid.
That's an AR Fox kid.
Oh, wow.
And
Wolf.
Leon Ruff, all these dudes, and Atlanta wrestling scene right now. Boy, that shit is on fire.
And mad love.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
They're getting a lot of love.
Like Atlanta wrestling scene is on fire right now, and we gotta like give them a shout out. Like they're doing their thing. Go ahead.
Remember when I told you Nasty Leeway was in the Battle Royal? It's next week. It's next week episode on AEW.
How do you know?
I know.
Well,
you did some digging?
Because he posted about a Battle Royal, and they had announced on the episode that there will be a Battle Royal next week.
Oh yeah, for the TNT title.
So I think he's in that match. So shout out to Nasty Leeway. We totally support you, bro. Pro the Java Tier South. We love you.
I got to interview him on Sunday though.
Real quick before we get into predictions, I actually really love NXT this week was phenomenal. To me, it's a great. They're building to take over in your house. I love the fact that Johnny Gargano and the whole Keith Lee situation, the seeds are being planted for that. I actually sign me up. Like I'm okay with that shit. Like
Johnny's money. Stop hating.
Whatever.
Johnny's money.
Whatever. So I think that feud is super dope. I love the fact that they took because I always want to say Punishment Martinez, and that's not his name. Damian Priest going against Finn. I think is woo. I think that's crazy. And then
Baron Corbin.
Have Ciampa going against Cross, which by far is going to probably be top notch.
So wait, quick question. Is next week in your house?
No, next week is June. No, NXT Takeover in your house is June 7th. And then Backlash is the following weekend, the 14th. So they're going back to.
I ain't worried about that.
My other up would be, I guess you can say the return of NWA. I haven't watched the super thing that they have posted because it's like an hour and a half long. But shout out to NWA if you're coming back. But actually, the one clip that I loved and that I watched was, because if you guys don't watch it, with fuck is his name? Nick Aldis. His insurance policy, Camille. Now Camille is the gem that never speaks. And they basically had a clip on YouTube, on their YouTube page. Her in the background narrating and they showing her first match ever on NWA and her journey of when she started working with Nick and things like that. but at the very end of the video is when she actually speaks. And it could be something super small to like nobody that doesn't watch it, but the character building that NWA does is phenomenal. And it's so low key that you have to really watch it to be like, oh, okay. And they really take the time to really build their characters. I'm sorry, y'all. Alarm went off. They really take the time, I think, to really build the characters that are in NWA. So that was actually my other up, was seeing that.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
If you haven't seen it, go on NWA's YouTube page and watch their NWA Super. I don't know if they call it Super Card, but their latest episode is on there. And the interview that they did with Camille is on it, and it's my other up because I really enjoy learning more about her, because she's the one that doesn't talk. And it reminds me of when you had it gave me Sherry vibes, because Sherry used to not talk, and then when she did talk, she went off. So
I'm gonna check it out.
Something interesting to watch. All right, before we end, let's go with predictions real quick. So we have the buy-in once again, AEW Double or Nothing this weekend, Saturday night. At the
who's in the buy-in?
I guess where the Jaguars play, right?
Yeah.
Stadium. In Jacksonville, Florida. So the buy-in, which is the pre-show match, you have Private Party versus Best Friends, which is Chucky T and Trent. The winners will be receiving a AEW tag title match.
Best Friends. Huh?
Of course, Best Friends. Like,
yeah, because no offense to Private Party, but Private Party hasn't been putting in work in at the Best Friends. Been putting in classics. So
but they're the number 3 ranked tag team. So statistically, they have. Like I thought it was weird too. I was like, how the fuck Private Party just up and get, once again, I support everything that's black, so that's fine. But yeah, that come from. But then when they said when they did the rundown on AEW, they said the number 3 ranked tag team. I was just like, how?
So where is Pride and Powerful? They number 4?
You said who?
Pride and Powerful. Cheese.
Oh, they ain't number 3. So, but all right. So Wilkins, who do you have? Private Party or Best Friends?
I think it's gonna be Best Friends as well. They're trying to build up Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. So I think they're gonna win.
Awesome. So next we have Dustin Rhodes versus Sean Spears. Who you guys have?
Sean Spears. Because Dustin could take the double and take the L.
In these streets? Yeah. I'm gonna go with Dustin. I'm tired of him losing. Like, come on.
That is true. The guy's been winning the pay-per-view. Like, he's like 0-something in pay-per-view.
He don't win on TV. He don't ever win.
I'm going with Sean. They're really trying to do something with Sean. And I think Dustin's job is to put over Sean. So I'll give it to Sean. Because Sean had a great promo with the whole news thing. It was pretty cool.
Oh, like how Barry and Smart said, it looks very familiar by the likes of Randall Keith Orton did it. That was very interesting.
I guess.
It's wrestling. We all copy off each other.
Exactly. Like, for example, like everybody has a show. Like, so what? Like, this new Barry Slice be dragging it sometimes, B.
But it be funny.
Dragging it.
It'd be funny.
It'd be funny though, but sometimes like.
Because it be shit I be thinking. I be like, so because you know what it is, you have fans that they be dragging it, and they be like, it's the best thing since sliced bread and all this stuff. But it's just like, sweetie, this has happened before. Like,
but he be dragging it too though, because I remember one time.
No, wait. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's more about like what Janelle said, and I'm in the middle when it comes to it. It's more about you're showing history. One of the things that Jim Cornette said is that everything in wrestling has been done before.
Absolutely.
But a lot of times you have AEW fans who's like, yo, yeah, this is AEW, so it's so different. It's on another level. But it's been done before. Is Sean Spears doing the same exact thing? No. But
very similar.
It's very similar. Like Mike Tyson. Nigga.
That's the same.
That's
And I told y'all that last week. And y'all looked at me like I was boo-boo the fool. And I said, watch WrestleMania 14 happen all over again. Because this week when Arn Anderson said, oh, Mike Tyson got the word. Whatever he won.
That was different. That was different.
And stuff like that. I was like, that was different. No, that's the same
but
thing that he did.
I understand what you're saying, but okay, I would agree with you up until the part when he made fun of somebody for having AEW cake. And he called him Mark for no reason. Just for some reason, their birthday because I have a cake. That's when I realized that, nigga, you went too far. Everything else, I can be fair and biased. Like, all right, you exposing them, but nigga celebrating his birthday AEW cake. What's the big deal?
Let's have him on the show in a couple of weeks.
For what?
For
what? So like you can do this?
Next thing, it's actually to be determined because Britt Baker might have been injured this past week on Dynamite, but they have Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander, which actually low-key they have been building nicely, like on the low radar.
Real nice.
So,
shout out to Orange Cassidy versus Ray Phoenix. Great match from beginning to end. That was very great. Shout out to him.
Match does happen. Who do you guys have, Britt Baker or Chris Statlander?
Britt Baker, but Britt Baker's not wrestling though.
Yeah, I don't. It's very touchy. I don't know, but know what? When I watched the clip, I was like, "Ooh, Nia!" I said, "Ooh, Nyla leg crazy." Like you could see, like her whole weight was on her whole leg. But
they talk about Nia and Jax being dangerous sometimes, right? Everyone's like,
people pick. That's the thing. People pick and choose what they want to critique.
Exactly.
And when it's and that's the thing I don't like about AEW fans, because when people in the company do fucked up shit, nobody calls them on the shit. Nobody says nothing because they're new and they're still trying to find their way. Like no. Right is right, wrong is wrong.
I agree with you. No. I agree with you. Like you know me. I don't call out people for doing like people messed up. Like for example, like Owen Hart messed up with Stone Cold. Like in the accident, things happen, but nobody penalized him. Everybody thinks that he's better than Owen Hart. I mean Bret Hart. Personally, I think Bret Hart is better because he never injured nobody in the ring. Other than that, there's no big deal. Accidents happen. Feel me? Like for example, if I have a car accident, one car accident my whole entire life, does that make me a bad driver? No. Accidents happen.
That's one way of looking at it. So you have what to me I think might be one of the matches that it's an under one, but it might be really good. MJF MJF versus Jungle Boy.
You know who his pops is, right?
Cool. Oh yeah. The guy from 91210 that died.
And
but what does that have to do with the match though? Who winning?
Yo, his dad's gonna come and help him?
What? Yeah. Like also
what?
He gonna inherit his body and help him. Yeah. Listen, I keep paper alive, dogs.
No, MJF is winning for that match, and then he's gonna end up fighting what's his name? God.
Cody or Lance Archer?
No, I think they're gonna continue going with that whole team.
Having him, go up.
Ooh, him versus what's his name? Raptor? Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus. He's gonna end up fighting because last week you saw Luchasaurus very angry, and it looked like it was gonna lead to him fighting MJF sooner than later.
Okay, so you go with MJF. So what's next?
We have the ladder match where you have Darby Allin, Colt, Plug Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Ray Phoenix, Scorpio Sky, Kip Sabian, Kazarian, Luchasaurus, and one mystery guy. And the winner would receive a future AEW title shot.
Darby Allin.
So, two-part. Who do you think is the mystery person? And who do you think is going to win?
Okay, who I think is going to win? My boy Darby Allin. You know I'm a huge fan. Darby Allin's going to win because he's been putting that work in. And it's like, the reason why I think he's going to win because he's just been putting so much work in his whole, like, this whole pandemic. Even before that, he's improving on his match. He's improving over on the ring. His promo. So Darby Allin is my person to win. The mystery person is woo woo woo. You know it's Zack Ryder. Oh, the radio. That's my buddy.
Definitely
Zack
don't think.
Ryder.
I don't definitely think they're gonna play that song. But anyway, okay.
So what?
Sir Wilkins.
You can make a remix.
Person
Moo moo moo. You
and
don't
when-
know it's.
Shut up, stupid.
I think it's Darby Allin as well. Like if you go through the list, they're all like tag team partner niggas.
Yeah.
Like really go through that list, and then you have Orange Cassidy, and then you have Coca. They're not giving Coca Cabana a title shot. Come on, let's be serious.
Shit, I'll just be like, oh God.
So that's what I think it's that. I think it's that. The mystery person, I'm thinking Jeff Cobb.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think it might be Jeff Cobb because it would add like that real like aggressive, angry. It's like Rhino. Remember Rhino did like a ladder match? Like picture, it's like that. It's like that type of feel. And then he's also super athletic.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually I'm gonna go with Scorpio Sky.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Makes sense. It's a promo package with him.
That whole
weeks ago.
promo definitely sold. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And besides
Is
that,
this
AEW.
No,
Huh?
I see, but the thing with Darby Allin, he's gonna be one of those kids, like, and he's like great. And MrBlacc, I give it to you because I've been watching and he's good. He's gonna be one of those that he's not, because low-key, this is a Money in the Bank. Just gonna throw a spade. He's not gonna need that to get a title shot.
Yeah, true. I can see that.
I can see that.
Person, I don't know. Like, it could be probably one of QT kids that's been on Dark or something. I don't know. I don't know.
It gotta be someone big. It gotta be someone big. It gotta be someone big. Like it gotta be someone like
it doesn't.
They're invested in.
But I just don't know who, and I don't know. Like I'd rather be surprised. Let me leave the mystery a mystery.
What if it's Tonga Tonga?
Well, then
He comes in, like think about it. He comes in
but
and
then
he has the opportunity, and he gonna go back to Japan and
you have to
brag
take
about it.
The title some way have to end up somebody from being elite.
Yeah, cool, whatever, but it doesn't matter. That's still good though. Like let's say let's say hypothetically speaking, he takes the title off of John Moxley, right? Go back to Japan with it, and then he's bragging on Japan, the Bullet Club with his shirt, like yeah, I got your champion. I got your belt. Come and get it. And that's actually like really good.
Because if you're gonna have a mystery person, it has to be a shock value.
It has to be a pop.
It has to be a pop, even if it's not gonna be in front of a full capacity crowd. Are they doing it in front of a crowd?
I mean, they probably will have like people that like they've been doing on Dynamite, but because I don't know how they're gonna do this kind of like production wise, because you're gonna wrestle in an empty stadium though. Like you gotta
no. It might be the same one that they've been wrestling at for a while. The same place they've been wrestling at.
But the thing is, they're doing that stadium stampede match, and it's in the stadium, and the ring is at the 50-yard line. So there is a ring in the stadium.
Yeah, and shout out to Hangman Page for running 50 yards and doing that clothesline. Nigga, see him in like if you
he didn't run 50 yards. He didn't run 50 yards. He didn't run 50 yards, Bree. I'm not believing that. Because he was not out of breath at all. He hated it. It was so funny. It was strictly camera angles. Because I was watching it, and I was like, what are you out of breath? You were out of breath?
Yo, so what?
I see elite athletes run a 50-yard line, and then he out of breath out of that shit. Because he did the clothesline and started hitting niggas after, and he was not out of breath.
So funny. It was so funny though. Like you see him run up on the field, take a little break, and go running, and he closed
It was so silly, but it worked.
I think it took a light jog. And they sped it up for him. And it's something on production.
They have
it was so funny though. It was so funny though. It was hilarious. What you said?
The Elite, which will include Kenny and the Bucks. Versus the
Kenny
inner.
Bunks and okay is the Mega Up Kennys, the Bucket of Youth, and Broken Matt. So far, it can go either way because both team kind of needs W. What?
So watch Hangman finally screw them.
Yeah, something like that. But it can go either way because how just like this build up, it's been like the way they've been fighting. It's a fun build up. Yeah, so it's just like
Right,
go either way.
Real quick, because my phone is dying, and so we gotta wrap this up. So, who y'all got? Inner Circle or Elite with Hardy?
Okay, I think it's gonna be Elite because of Blood and Guts. That's when like you see the aggressive side of the Inner Circle.
Okay,
that's
so,
yeah.
It's the Elite. It's the Elite. I gotta go too. So
last 3 matches you have for the AEW Women's Title, you have Nyla Rose versus Sheeta.
Nyla Rose.
Come on, so Nyla Rose
match. But I say Nyla Rose. You have the first ever. They're gonna crown the first ever TNT champion, Cody versus Lance Archer.
You go either way because a new guy and Cody hasn't won a pay-per-view yet, so you go either way.
I'm gonna go Lance.
I'm gonna go Cody because that's my fellow Cancer right there. I like his theme song, and his wife is hot, so good enough.
So Wilkins, real quick, go ahead.
I'm going with Cody because Mike Tyson's gonna interfere
and fuck shit up like WrestleMania 14. Thank you. And I really want everybody that's watching this to go back to last week's episode when they crucified me talking about Mike Tyson, but I was just like, nah, like this is way all right. Y'all doing the most. And then last but not least, you have the AEW World Heavyweight Title match. You have Jon Moxley versus Brody Lee.
Moxley.
I'm gonna go Moxley because clearly the niggas that steal titles don't win them. Once you touch the title, it's like the black curse of death. So
I think it might be Brody. I think it might be Brody Lee.
Well, we shall see this weekend. We will, recap everything next week. Once again, AEW Double or Nothing. This weekend, it is Memorial Day weekend, which is odd because it don't feel like it. But if you're gonna enjoy it with some wrestling, any last words before we go?
Check out my interview next week with a referee. I've got his name. It's slipping my mind. We're gonna talk about his survival with Corona, his life as a referee, and check that out. That'll be on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Bring back the Mr. Black show on Sunday. There's gonna be another show, the Mr. Black show, with the official Nasty Nigga, the Nasty Niggas, Nasty Leroy. So check out 8 p.m. And we're bringing back Behind the Indie special episode, working on that. So look out for that.
That episode should be within the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that. So real quick, any upcoming projects you have or things you want people to look out for?
Nah, live long and prosper, peeps.
I'm dead. Once again, we truly are saddened by, the loss of podcast, Mr. Shad
Flowers for the day.
But once again, send our prayers to everyone that's been affected by this loss, to the, in our wrestling community. We do want to, thank him once again for giving us a piece of, being a part of our history. And that's something we can never thank him, enough for. So once again, want to, end off on that note, but just once again, keep him in memory, once again, gone, but never going to be forgotten. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black, # Black Excellence, # we are out.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go with rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans, you gotta wait till your coast chosen. Try to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes and Noble.